NSCA Nationals. In the world of sporting clays, no tournament is more prestigious. As the years have passed, the tournament has taken on a character of its own. Others may throw tougher targets. Some ranges feature better terrain. But there is only one Nationals, and winning it is on the bucket list of every top shooter. The 2011 Nationals were held October 26th through the 30th at the usual venue, the beautiful National Shooting Complex in San Antonio, Texas. Over 1,600 competitors shot it out over the long weekend, each hoping to take home a piece of the pride and the satisfaction that comes with winning the Nationals, whether the win comes in a class or a concurrent. Practice rounds began Wednesday morning amidst near-perfect shooting conditions, sunny and mild with very little wind. The Krieghoff Cup continued its reign as one of the most popular events. 1,356 shooters competed on the beautiful course, set atop a hill among the low trees on the east side of the complex. Nearly 1,000 shooters shot the five-stand event, which was set along Vendor Row near the stadium and games. The new style FITAST was shot by over 700 and took place along the north-facing skeet fields near the center of the complex. The remaining disciplines were shot by a combined total of over 2,700 competitors. There was certainly plenty of shooting going on. According to the NSCA, over 1 million targets were thrown, with nearly 1 million of those registered. The main competition kicked off Thursday morning and took place on 4 courses: yellow, orange, red, and green. It required 4 flights a day to accommodate the 1,437 participants. The perfect weather that had prevailed Wednesday continued to cooperate for a while. By Thursday afternoon, a cold front began to move through from the north, and the shooting conditions went south. A strong wind picked up, the temperature dropped, and by the time the afternoon flights were underway, it was downright cold and targets were being blown all over the place. Shooters who were lucky enough to draw the early flights on Thursday had a distinct advantage. The adverse conditions persisted until Saturday afternoon. When the front was finally through, the winds had died down, the sun came back out, and the temperature rose. Most shooters agreed that yellow was the easiest course. In addition to softer targets, the course was relatively protected from the wind by the low trees that are common to the National Shooting Complex. 2 shooters put up 75s on the 76 target course, with everyone in the top 10 at 71 or better. The 74 target orange course was a bit more susceptible to the wind, but featured user-friendly targets throughout. Many stations could be characterized as one from the left, one from the right, with the usual trap setter tricks to keep things challenging. 3 shooters tied for the top spot on orange with 72s, while 7 of the top 10 were at 70 or better. The trees disappeared and the ground opened up on the 76 target red course, making the unwelcome wind more of a factor than on either the yellow or orange. While the open terrain made the targets easier to see, they also moved around quite a bit more, taking away any advantage the extra visibility might have given. 75 was the top score on red, with most of the top 10 over 70. Green proved to be the toughest course by far, with scores consistently lower throughout the weekend, adverse weather or not. Many shooters agreed that backlighting was an issue on green, depending on when you shot it. The north-facing part of the course featured a low ridge and shallow gully, which were put to good use by the trap setters. Fast-moving targets with a drop or a curl proved to be too much for some. Only 2 shooters topped 70 on green all weekend. Pat Liskey's 72 on green could have arguably been the best round of the main. The adverse weather made it difficult to get a real sense of who was in contention for the main, but after 3 days of shooting, the picture began to develop. Going into Sunday, Bill McGuire was only 1 target out of first place and had the good fortune of shooting the soft yellow course for his final flight. 2 shooters were ahead of Bill. Zach Kinebaum was shooting red, which was a couple targets tougher for most shooters. Gavin Miles was over on the tougher green course. Going in, it seemed the title might be Bill's to lose. The outcome wasn't decided until the last flight was done on Sunday. Bill turned in a near-perfect 75 on yellow to claim HOA with a score of 287. Zach held on to runner-up, but Gavin faded, and Anthony Matarese claimed M1. Over in the ladies, Ashleigh Hafley came from behind to wrap up the ladies' HOA with a 261, followed by Diane Sorrentino, Katie Fox, and Sarah Hughes. Pre-Golf Cup targets could only be described as feel good. With the course set on a hill among the low trees with quite a few small windows, the target setters certainly had their work cut out for them. They definitely managed to add some interest, especially in the case of the Zippy Rabbit that could take some very interesting and unpredictable bounces. A perfect score was certainly possible, and it came before the weekend was done when Mark Hall ran the course. 4 99s followed Mark's 100, and then 11 98s. The new style FITAS was laid out on the north-facing skeet fields with a nice mix of targets. Visibility was excellent, but those who were unlucky enough to shoot on Thursday afternoon and Friday had to deal with the high winds, and their scores suffered. Gavin Miles ran 2 par cores and finished first with a 97, followed by Corey Cruz with a 96 and Michael Everson with a 95. 5-stand was the usual battle, with Travis Mears shooting the top score of 98, along with runner-up Derek Main. Anthony Matarese finished third with a 97. Shoot-offs took place on Sunday evening in the stadium and were a lot of fun to watch. With the stadium lighting, the target stood out against the black night sky, and even the shot string was visible. For all his successes over the years, Bill McGuire had never won the Nationals before, so the win meant a lot to him. Everyone enjoyed seeing him step to the top spot of the podium, alongside runner-up Zach Kinebaum and M1 Anthony Matarese. The win ended a very successful year for Bill, and we asked him about the key to his success.
Bill, I got to ask you, you've had an incredible string of successes here lately. The Gameo Cup, the Delta Classic, now the Nationals. Mm-hmm. Did I miss anything in between?
I won the Brown and Briley this year.
Okay, well that was earlier in the year.
Yeah, that was earlier, yeah.
And what's been the secret to your success?
Just kind of working on my mental game this year a little bit, yeah. And, everything's kind of come together for me pretty good.
Anything you could share with any other shooters about what in particular it was? What were you putting together in that mental game?
Just kind of focusing on one target at a time. And,
keeping it in the present?
Yeah, keeping it simple, yeah.
The post-shoot debates over whether the targets were soft, hard, just right, how much of a factor the wind and cold temperatures played, and the usual litany of other topics will be the topic of discussion for shooters throughout the winter. One thing is certain, this was the Nationals, sporting clay's biggest and most prestigious tournament. I'm Mark McGraw with Delta Sports Network.